Hey guys, it's raining today. Horace King was born into slavery on a South Carolina plantation in 1807. A slave trader sold him to a man who saw something special in Horace King. His owner was John Goodwin, and he taught King to read and write as well as how to build at the time when it was illegal to teach to slaves. King worked hard, and despite bondage, racial prejudice, and a multitude of other obstacles, he was able to learn. King focused his life on hard work and being a genuinely good man. He built bridges, warehouses, homes, churches, and he became highly accomplished master builder, and he emerged from the Civil War as a legislator in the state of Alabama, affectionately known as Horace the Horace the Bridge Builder. King of and the Prince of Bridge Builders. He also served his community in many public and civic capacities. Mr. King was born on September the 8th in 1807, and he died on May 28th in 1885. He was an African-American architect, engineer, bridge builder. He is considered the most respected bridge builder in the 19th century Deep South, constructing dozens of bridges in Alabama, Georgia, and Mississippi. If you look at the construction of this bridge, you will see that it is all pegged together, and these are at least 2-inch pegs. They're drilled and pegged with, I guess, some kind of really hard wood. I don't know the construction formula exactly, but you can tell that these bridges were really put together well back at a time when things were done right. It is amazing to me the history that can be found and the construction ideas found in these old buildings. I'm going to get down and attempt to look up underneath here. As you can see, this is a huge I-beam that's been welded and put together when they took this bridge apart and moved it here. So it's very well put together, and they've cemented in areas to keep it together. And this bridge is under surveillance and has cameras on it, just in case anyone is interested. I see there is some malicious stuff written on it, but not much. I don't know if you guys can see all of these little flags that are out here on the ground, but there are tons of them. So these little flags like this, little red flags, they are all marking unmarked graves. So it's Marshall King. I'm sorry, he was the son of the builder. Marshall King, Horace King. They were the covered bridge builders for this bridge here. Look at these old trees. Boy, these old trees could tell you a story, couldn't they? These things are give you an idea of how big they are. Look at that, my hand. Or me standing up against it here, if you can see. My hand's not long enough. Well, these are some massive old cedars here and pines. Look at these pines. All of these little flags represent graves. And when I get up here, I will show you the marker on it. This is the Mulberry Street Cemetery in Lagrange, Georgia. The Mulberry Cemetery complex served the people of Lagrange between 1863 and at least 1930s. The oldest section is the Stonewall Jackson Confederate Cemetery, where the soldiers of all 13 states were buried. Confederate Army set up hospitals in Lagrange to treat soldiers, the men who were buried injured in, I can't even read, with a drizzling rain coming down in my eyes. The Civil War battles around Atlanta arrived in Lagrange via the Atlanta West Point Railroad in around 1863 and 1864. The fence was moved to this cemetery before the new courthouse opened in 1904. Says 8 unmarked graves to the west of Confederate cemetery fence are believed to have been orderlies who worked in the hospitals. They may have been slaves. These are also a few graves and tombstones in the area, and there are approximately 424 graves found to the west of the south and south of the Confederate cemetery. The names and deaths of these people have been lost in history, but are believed to have been blacks who died between 1865 and the early 1900s. Some are buried in vaults, while others appear to have been paupers and are buried in cloth wrapping. The locations of the graves were identified in 2015 as part of the Lagrange County Historical Society project. Underground radar was used to locate and mark the unmarked graves. These graves may have originally been marked with simple wooden crosses or field stones, and in 2016 permanent metal discs were installed to mark each grave site. The City Council of Lagrange officially named this area the Mulberry Cemeteries in 2016 on April the 12th. Horace King, the famed 19th century bridge builder and legislator, of the most notable person buried at all these cemeteries. He and his son Marshall are buried here. Horace died in 1855 and his son Marshall died in 1879. Other King members are believed to be buried near them. The Mulberry Street complex is a unique locale as it is consists of Confederate era graves along with grave sites of blacks that died in the latter part of the century. The project was made possible through the partnership of the Office of Product Development and the Georgia Department of Economic Development. And here is the graveyard that they were talking about. Confederate soldiers graveyard. There's quite a few here. Walk around this way, get a better view, guys. I hope the camera is staying clean. It is raining out here, but I wanted to get this video done while I was in this area so that I could show it to you guys. It does look like that at one time these graves were clean, and they had this one says an unknown soldier, CSA 1864. So it's pretty sad that they've got people here that they don't even know who they are, but at least they're marked. These are. Now these other graves over here are residents, mostly black, that they think, that lived in this area many years ago. Quite an interesting thing to see, a Confederate cemetery with a whole ton of black graves right around them. It's unusual in this era. I guess back then things were different. I don't know. It's a sad thing either way that a bunch of people got killed over something so senseless, but that's the way it goes in life. Horace King was a very prominent bridge builder in this area, and this is just one of the bridges that he built. And let's see, he was born a slave. Horace King became a master bridger who constructed covered bridges over every large river between western Georgia and eastern Mississippi. King gained his freedom in 1846 through the Alabama legislature with the aid of his master, John Goodwin. King placed an oblique on Goodwin's Phoenix City, Alabama grave in 1859, which noted his love and gratitude. After the Civil War, King served 2 terms in Alabama's Reconstruction legislature. The political and business leader moved his family to Lagrange in 1873. He and his son Marshall "Nay" King are buried just west of here. This is erected by the City of Lagrange County Historical Society. Office of Tourism, Product Development, Georgia Department of Economic Development, Historic Chattahoochee Commission, and the Historic Columbus in 2016. And this is a picture of Mr. King. Let me wipe this just in case, guys. Sorry. Maybe you can see it a little better. Anyway. And I'm getting out of here because it is starting to come down hard.